I wanted to talk about was how you ask God for direction and like
Mhm.
what are you preparing me for? What is this downtime for? And I know for me, I had this very weird moment where I was like, okay, well, let me back up a little bit because I don't know if you knew that I was moving to Atlanta at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like so like super exciting. Like everybody was like, "Oh, okay, have fun." And I had a whole party like like I
Yeah.
really was about to move. I had full intentions on it, right? And I
Yeah.
was like ready. I was looking for jobs and all of this different type of stuff. Um and so there was, like you even mentioned, like that pride factor of being in that place. And like I was in that weird position because I'm like, okay, well, I want to move. And also I told everybody I'm moving. So that's weird that I'm not moving. But then I had to take a step back and I was like, what if it's not meant for me to move right now? Like that's the whole point of this. Like, really, what if it was not meant for me to move? And
Yeah.
I really I mean, I don't think it was meant for me to move. Not just yet. I think there's some things that I have to deal with or do in Michigan still. I'm not excited about the winter, but I am excited that I'm still near my family. Being 13 hours away from mom and dad, that's a bit much for me right now. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. I didn't even
Now that's
realize
to be
that.
real.
So I'm like, I can
Woo!
always travel to Atlanta. I can always, travel wherever. But moving, although it's not permanent, somebody just told me that the other day, although it's not permanent, it is, a temporary thing that I would have been doing that would have took a lot of, I mean, it would have just been a huge step. And personally,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I was like emotionally ready. Like I felt like
Mhm.
I was ready to go be in Atlanta, but like the real nitty gritty of Atlanta is cool to visit, but I don't know if I'm ready to live there and thrive
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
like I know for me, there are things that I want to have established before I go anywhere. That's not just Georgia or wherever I decide to move. And I said all of that to say I need and I needed to ask God, what are the plans that He has for me versus what are the plans that I have for myself? And can He help me with
Yeah.
those? Right? Like, where
Yep.
do you want me? What do you want me to do? Who do you want me to talk to and speak to? And even when it comes to my show, like some of the, or earlier on, I was really discouraged because I'm like, okay, this is an entire show, a whole 30-minute program, and I got to fill that up. And I was getting like overwhelmed sometimes because
Yeah.
it's overwhelming, right? And
Yeah.
I found that when I just talked to God about it and just told him my grievances and everything like that, that He literally directed people into my life. And whether it be on a business tip or on this platform, He's just
Yeah.
always shown up. And it may not be
Man.
when we want to, but
But
it's
it's when
always
you
on
need
time.
it.
It's always when we
Girl.
need it.
Yeah.
It's
I'd be
always
like,
when we need it.
I was just saying that today that I was like, I am such a big complainer and I hate that about myself. But I'm growing out of it because I have to like catch myself. I'm like, stop. Like, you are just fine. Like, you know what I mean? Because like every time, like, you can ask him like anything. I'm learning that like just literally just ask him for stuff
Yeah.
and literally just start like not only asking but just start believing like for real, like I already got it. And then stuff really will come to you. Like he will do it, like for real, just
He really
because.
did.
Yeah, like just because you just put your faith to work. So with this show, I know you're gonna do good. So just keep going. I'm telling you, just keep going.
Listen, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I'm gonna see it through because I have this thing about me where I lack discipline. And
Mhm.
I feel like this show is the perfect reason and the perfect opportunity for me to hone in some of my skills of or not procrastination, but self-discipline. And because I'm not getting younger, I'm getting older, and my business is growing, and I'm going to have a lot more responsibility than I do now one day, Lord willing. So it's like, if I don't got the self-discipline today for what I'm doing now, I'm going to struggle even more so when I, if God decides to bless me with those, expanded territories. So I'm learning, we're learning, it's a learning process.
Yeah, it's a learning process.
It really is. I just thank God for like his continuous mercy. Cause like, he really looks out,
I swear.
Like,
the more it's like talking about him, it be really getting me fired up sometimes. I be like, wow, like, cause he just like, you just be wanting to tell everybody.
Like, no, for real.
Like, for real.
Seriously. I'll be like, oh my, and it's like, sometimes it be stuff that maybe like, not necessarily TMI, but like, not necessarily anybody's business, right? But I had one of those moments and I was like, I ain't gonna tell nobody this, because I was struggling, right? I ain't gonna tell nobody. I had a conversation with somebody the other day and I mentioned it to them, and they're going through something similar, and they just thanked me like so much, like, thank you for telling me your testimony, because now I know that there's another side to it. And I'm like, that's the whole point of testifying, because that's what we're here to do, is to tell people how good God is, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. And it's so hard to like be vulnerable though, because we get to this point of like, I feel like with social media, like everybody is vulnerable to an extent, because not everybody shows the ugly sides of like their life. You're always seeing like people getting married or like all these different things, and then it's like we don't see the backside of like what it took for them to get there, or if they're going through stuff now, and we just assume like, man, I want to be like that. But it's like, I don't know. I'm just learning like now, like, to follow your own journey and to be okay with like what he's going to do for you. Cause it's like, if he's making their life good, he's going to make yours good. Just as much. You just got to like, just wait and just keep praying. Cause like, man, he doing stuff now. Imagine later.
Yes, exactly. We could talk about him all night, but I want to switch topics a little bit, and I want to talk about your organization. So, is it a nonprofit or what is it?
So right now we are a business for the state of Michigan, but we will be transferring to a nonprofit hopefully by the end of the year.
Okay. Yeah. I'm excited for that. What is your organization called? I know it, but tell the viewers of The Vibe what your organization is called, and just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So my organization is called Youth Lives Matter. I started it with my best friend, Jalen Anderson. So shout out to Jalen and our team, Zai and Jason. And so this organization is just based on like being able to provide like mentors for our youth in the community right now, just based in Lansing. What else do we do? So we want to provide them like not only mentors, but more resources that like the schools don't give out, such as like it could be them learning about how to do their taxes, or how to apply for jobs, how to interview, how to dress for the jobs. And just we want to just provide like whatever that they need. If they're, maybe there is, a lot of homeless kids right now. So we want to be able to be that support for them, or find support, and just find all these groups and then just put it into one, and then just like be those people who they can come to just, just give them something and help them be successful. And so I feel as though Lansing needs that more so now, just because we just had, I think, 3 losses within the last year. So it's a lot. So like they just need role models and just people to follow after, or just, I don't know, just help, just people to see them. Like I feel like people don't take the time to really like get to know what the youth want and what, you know what I mean? Because life changes and that people just stay stagnant. And so I feel like they need to have like people who are like willing to listen and want to see what they want their future to be like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
great. I'm very proud of you, first off, for starting
Thank you.
I'm proud of you and your team, because that is great. And I know it's probably not the easiest thing to do, but I commend all of you for taking that step, because you are absolutely right. Our youth, they need somebody who are listening to their needs and their wants. Like the school board, they try their best, with all the curriculums and stuff like that. But like you said, the job interviews and the cooking and the what to wear on the interview, like these are the things that I wish I would have learned in high school. Some of the things I did learn, I couldn't tell you because I don't know. Right. But things that I'm using now, I really wish that I would have learned so that I could have mastered it by this time. I'm just now learning in my 20s. So I really shout out to y'all for doing that, because I see the need too. Yes, I'm just excited. I thank you for joining me today. I know we ran over time, but thank you again for joining me. And my last question is, where can people follow and find you, Miss Jasmine?
Yes, find me on all my social media. You can just look me up as @Lil_Jazzy Jazz, or you can look me up on Facebook. It's just Jasmine Lynch. I'm just regular name.
Yep. Little Jazzy Jazz. All righty. Well, thank you so much.